So, with the news of Kevin Durant obviously not coming to Miami as most Heat plans thought would happen, we thought we'd get Kevin Durant simply because we didn't think we'd have to give up that much to get him. But, by not giving up that much, it doesn't mean, holding off on Jaime Jaquez, who doesn't play, Haywood Highsmith, who is Haywood Highsmith. I love Haywood. Okay, that's title of this video, where do we pivot next, right? So where do we look to go next? Outside of the obvious, where I think we're going to run it back. And if we do that, I'm going to be a very, very sad camper, and I do not want to do that in a weakened Eastern Conference, Very unfortunate news with Tyrese Halliburton tearing his ACL. He's going to be out for the all next season. Giannis is probably going to go to the West to the Spurs, so the Bucks are going to be bad. You can take them out of contention. The Sixers suck. Right, Tatum tore his Achilles, was it? And he's out for all next season. Damian Lillard tore his ACL. He's out for all next season. So there is such a wide open Eastern Conference outside of the Cavaliers. So personally, the one that we've been linked to the most, the two we've been linked to most, I'm going to show in consecutive order, but the one we've been linked to the most is DeMar DeRozan, and I really, 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 really do not think DeMar DeRozan moves the needle at all. Okay, the Heat. I've been a Heat fan since 2013, right? So my first year watching basketball, we won a chip, and that was the happiest I've been. I was a kid, right? So now we're here. We've been mediocre. I sat through Goran Dragic, Dion Waiters, Hassan Whiteside, ISO ball with James Johnson holding it down, right? I don't want to have to go through some shit like that again, all right? So getting DeMar DeRozan, it doesn't put us over the hump. It does not put us over the hump. If we were to get DeMar DeRozan, I'd want it to be in a package similar to this, all right? Terry Rozier, expiring contract, which the Kings could benefit off of, or they could keep him. I don't know. They need a point guard. He's a great point guard, right? Why would the Heat trade for him? Why would we trade a first-round pick for him if he wasn't a great point guard? And then we give up 2 second-round picks. I'm not going to give up a first-round pick to get off of Terry Rozier, who gave up a first-round pick for. Personally, I don't think the Kings accept this. This is just some shitty traded through. And take out Terry Rozier, put in Duncan Robinson. I don't care. Any expiring contract on our team. All right, the contracts basically match. If we do this, I'll be happy because we move off Terry Rozier. But at the same time, I'm not going to be happy because this move does not move the needle. We give up 2 second-round picks in Terry Rozier for a player who leaves us in the same exact situation. Our spacing is terrible. Not any better than step back Terry Rozier. I don't know how DeMar and Wiggins would fit alongside each other or how that would work out at all, actually. So it's like NBA 2K. We can just change his position, all right? We can run Bam at the 1. We're going to waive Tyler Hero. This is fucking bullshit. All right. Next person. I don't want this fucking guy at all. Okay, I do not want this fucking guy at all. I'm from the DMV, so I've really liked Bradley Beal when he was averaging 30, right? I went to Heat versus Wizards games. I went to multiple of those. Back in the day, Bradley Beal, he was lethal. 30 points per game, man. Didn't he do it twice? I think he did it twice. Dropped 60 in a loss. He was a lethal scorer when he had the keys to the offense. I think he gets a lot of criticism, unfair criticism on the Phoenix Suns because he was playing behind Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and Mike Budenholzer was their coach. So they were fucked up from the get-go, right? He was thrown in a bad situation. That's not even talking about his contract, probably the worst contract in sports history. It is bad. Okay, it is bad. But the no trade clause, he literally told Phoenix like, yeah, I think my kids like it here, so I think I'm gonna stay. What a douchebag. But the news now, breaking news, he's likely to be bought out. If we can get him on a worse contract than that, that's cool. But if he doesn't get bought out and we trade for him, it would have to be something like this. There's a common denominator in these trades, all right? I didn't throw in any picks because the Phoenix Suns are desperately trying to move off of Bradley Beal. All right, they want him gone. They want him off their basketball team. So if we just give them 2 expiring contracts and then take on 2 more years of $53.6 million Bradley Beal, I think they should be happy. But at the same time, I thought that they would be happy with all of those expiring contracts and picks we would have gave them for Kevin Durant. So I don't know about the Phoenix Suns ever making a trade with us ever. This trade does make sense, though, my personal opinion. I think that we would probably take on Bradley Beal. He would kind of be like our Jimmy Butler, like came into a bad situation and kind of made it. I feel like he could lead us to the playoffs, right? because Bradley Beal, when he's given the keys to an offense, I don't know how good he'd play alongside Tyler Hero, but when he's given the keys to the offense, he took the Wizards to the playoffs, not many times, but like in 2021 with Russell Westbrook, he did it. So I feel like with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, I mean, the backcourt defense isn't good unless yeah, shit. We'd have to bring Davion off the bench and then start Wiggins and fucking Bam and then Ware. So I don't really know about this. But I think the Suns do it strictly to take on the expiring contracts. Yeah. Next is Russell Westbrook. I only wanted Westbrook because we were betting favorites telling Kevin Durant. And I thought if we get Russell Westbrook and we get Kevin Durant, that's a reunion everyone wants. All right, we would be the favorites of the NBA, right? Everyone would love that. And then I was thinking, all right, that's a part of the script. All right, Adam Silver cooked this up, so we're going to go to the finals and we're going to beat OKC Thunder in 7 on the Thunder's court, where Russell Westbrook gets his first ring. Come on, that would have been cinema. So I think we just sign him for a bad, like cheap contract. If we get him, I don't want him at all, actually. But we do need a point guard, and I want Ben Serafisov in the draft. I do not know how to pronounce his name, but I want him in the draft. So I'll make a video about my draft guys right after I make this one. I'm just going to start editing that one. Jonathan Kuminga. Do I want Jonathan Kuminga? Not necessarily. Would he be bad for us? No. Okay, I like Jonathan Kuminga. He's young, or he has potential. He's raw. I feel like he could come in and he could bring some joy back to the city of Miami, the state of Florida in total, right? Right. He can come back and he gets some exciting dunks. He'd bring some much needed flash and pizzazz to the Heat roster. But I think we should have got him. I wanted him in the potential Jimmy trade back when it was rumored that Jimmy was going to go to the Warriors, and the Warriors were not interested in trading away Jonathan Kuminga, and now it's basically a guarantee they're going to trade him. And making this in Trade Finder was a pain in the ass because I had to extend him and shit, and I didn't know what a good contract would be, so I just threw this shit in. So we get Jonathan Kuminga, we give up Jaquez in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and we get Jonathan Kuminga. The Bulls come in there and throw in Vucevic. I think this is a win-win-win, actually. If I'm being completely honest, I think the Bulls get younger, although Vooch is expiring. I mean, they're getting how many picks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. 5 picks and young talent for Vucevic. I think they need to do that, right? As a young team like them, I think the Warriors do this because they need a big man in Nikola Vucevic and throw in Jaime Jaquez just to sprinkle it in there. And because he likes Jimmy Butler or some shit. And you know who I do not like? Jaime Jaquez. Get him off my team. So that's all the trades I have into this video. I just kind of threw this video together. It's 6:37 in the morning right now. I can't sleep. I have no clue what we're going to do. I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to have to, be a play-in team every year and have the 20th pick in the draft, and we draft Precious Achiuwa over Tyrese Maxey or Justice Winslow or Devin Booker type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I want. So I'm just trying to grasp straws here. Pat Riley needs to retire. All right, Pat Riley needs to go. He needs to retire. We need to move Eric Spoelstra up to the front office as the general manager, or whatever the fuck, basketball operations president or some shit. And we can move our assistant coach, Chris Finch. He's good, dude. Chris Finch is not his name. I'm having a blank right now. You know what? Yes, I had him a video.